to both teams.
At the same time, mid-game might start as early as Blink Dagger on Bat Rider, which may come at, what, like 8 or 9 minutes?
That's true.
For Universe. And they don't really have good supports to zone them out. Elder Titan with Boost First, not that great at doing so. Keeper Light is mediocre with 600 range and 350 move speed, but not your ideal one like Skyrath Mage, which may prove to be very troublesome for old Simba.
Here we go. Team Secret, they'll have the crowd with them. Some fan favorites here on their team, and some players from the old Na'Vi, No-Tail, and Fly are well liked here in Kiev, and they'll be on the Radiant side. Secret come in looking strong. They took down Taker 2-0 EG. Oh, maybe have a level 1 clash. Let's just see. The Solitary Glaive thrown out. They skill up Sticky Napalm, and Universe is going to go in, but they got off a nice Illuminate onto Universe, as well as the rest of EG. They're forced back. The Stomp from Big Daddy completely off the mark. Hits nothing. He still walks in. They all get cursed, and then the turn goes back the other way. All right. Both teams flexing their muscles, you know, just letting the opponent know that they're ready to return fire.
Both teams also dropped in Reserve Reward in the fog, so both have vision.
Fairly similar locations, too.
No one knows that they have vision, though. So.
All right, let's introduce the lineups. We've got Zion, his Sand King, PPD, your support silencer, RTZ, as always, it seems, on the Death Prophet or Razor Mid. This time it's a Death Prophet. The Bat Rider will be in Universe's capable hands, and Fear will be playing an old hero in the Lifestealer. As for Team Secret, you've got Big Daddy No-Tail. Last time he played the support Elder Titan, he gave up a first blood in a very unusual way, but it seems that will be avoided. You've got Puppy on his Keeper of the Light once again, making Cuddle Guy very happy if he's watching. Kuroki will be your anti-mage, going to the safe lane, S4 on the Brew mid. And that does leave Simba on a hero that he's really stepped up to the plate on for Secret. I feel like he's made the biggest plays of anyone outside of Big Daddy on this team in this tournament. The two Fnatic players have been, for me, and possibly the stars of the show.
I feel like he can't really do that much versus a Lifestealer, though. They have no stuns aside from Ravage and maybe the Boulder Toss from Brew, if you can count that, or Mana Leak, all of which are very situational. And I don't know, if Fear gets a really good start. He started with 250 gold after Stout and the Tango, so you can either go very aggressive, Boots plus Orb of Venom if he wants to try and pressure the Tidehunter, or just simple Midas into Phase Drum's Armlet.
Big Daddy did go for that level 1 stomp. He claps the wave, but Universe has quite a wave stacking up. He already hits level 2, and this is the main downside to that support Elder Titan. You really cannot zone out the Bat Rider at all this early. Kuroki should do okay first farm. No Magic Stick picked up yet, but not really under too much pressure. It does seem overall, as they look for a potential Burrow Strike top lane, Zai will go for it. He actually brings Simba quite low. He hasn't used his Anchor Smash just yet. Looks like he's trying to bait, and Curse! Yeah, there you go. We'll hold it. That was close, though. That's a salve down. He's only got 3 tangos left. Look at the aggression from Universe. Like, on the one hand, you've got a Tidehunter nearly dying. On the other, you've got Universe going hard on Kuroki, hits level 3, and just unfazed at all by Big Daddy. The offlane traits clearly seems to be in EG's favor for now.
And this level 1 stomp certainly not helping him out. He actually hasn't done any damage to Universe. Universe might actually be chasing him down with the clarity on him.
What's the rune going to be? He's going to stop for a stop. Universe dodging that. He gets 5 Sticky Napalm charges up, and it's not the right rune for him. It's a bounty rune. First blood may go to Universe. Up the high ground. He gets it. Oh, my. Oh, my. Secret, we've got a problem.
I am not sold on this Elder Titan support. Even though Big Daddy, I think, is a fantastic Elder Titan player, he just offers so little in the early game. Simba able to leech him experience finally on the back of an Invis rune. But, I mean, Bat Rider, we talked about his Blink Dagger maybe being an 8. It might be even earlier with this.
He's got 900 gold. And it's not like he really needs a lot of regen, because, well, Big Daddy is going to come in and punch him a few times, but overall can't harass him too much on his own. He drops the Spirit, he goes for the Stomp, and this time it will hit Universe. Uh-oh, do they get a turnaround here? He's out of mana, and he's pretty low on HP. Kuroki only having level 1 Blink. That would have been a nice trade-off for Secret, but instead it's just a free fountain trip for Universe. Still good to get him out of the lane at least a little bit. And let's see, has his jungle been stacked yet? No, they have been. Oh, they have stacked this camp. But for the most part, they've been very diligent about trying to keep the Tidehunter of Simba down, who is a level and a half down on the enemy Bat Rider. He's about to hit 4. So, look at the other lanes. We've talked a lot about the off lanes, Ben. Mid lane so far. Start off good for S4. You got an early lead, but now it's pretty much even. Just farm here. what's your thoughts overall on the other traits? The mid lane, the safe lane farmers.
It's going to be a wash. Brewmaster, Death Prophet rarely yields anything prior to 6th. Universe playing a little aggressively on the creep wave. Kiro taking a lot of damage.
That turn speed's slow, man.
I think it goes without saying that bottom is already a huge win for EG, getting a kill on the Elder Titan as in a 1-3 lane.
And just pressuring Kuroki. Like, he's not farming nearly as well as Fear, already down 8 CS. You look at how he's farming yesterday, he was like 8-9 CS up on the enemy safe laner.
And Simba is just level 2. That's 1 creep wave's worth of experience.
He's going in again. He has Firefly ready. Napalm begins to stack up. I don't know if Universe is fast enough to kill this. He continues to chase Big Daddy. Oh, he's actually got a Ghost working with him.
Well, he also has 10 sick charges, or had 10 sick charges.
Oh, that's 6. Maybe he does dive this Firefly at the ready. Universe, he does the math and decides he wants to go for it. He will barely get clipped on the stomp. Big Daddy, though, well, that allows the sticky Napalm to cool down. This aggression is just, they can't punish it because they have a Keeper of the Light support off in the jungle.
Yeah, at the same time, he's out of mana. I think it was smart for him to use all his mana so it doesn't take that much damage from feedback, but can't keep up any pressure with that. Still, he's not missing out on that much experience. Creep waves push up to his tower, no big deal. Zai about to stack up another camp. Let's see if he gets some more mud golems.
Yeah. No mud golems yet, but just ochre bruisers. There. No, good luck for him. I guess the only issue here is they're stacking the jungle, but Zai also needs that. And now he will level up Sandstorm and go for it. It's a Midas for Fear. At the same time, Kuroki will build towards his Battle Fury. Universe back into the bottom lane. He has gone back for a bottle. With this Midas on Fear, I guess there's not that much point in Rushy or Blake because you don't have anyone to gank with you early. So it's good synergy as far as EG's item selections go. They'll hit their timings, or when Universe gets his Blink, around that time Fear is going to have like his first decent item. The phase, maybe the makings of the drum, something like that.
And on top of that, they can switch very, very quickly. Lifestealer can move into the jungle once he hits level 6. PBD can soak up the lane and get Global Silence, and Zai can just stack the Bib camp and Sandstorm that. So it's not like EG's really losing out in terms of efficiency anytime soon.
Bottom rune will be secured by Universe. Doesn't look like Big Daddy can get in, and instead they'll go for the top rune. That will be the haste. Bounty rune picked up. Arteezy about to claim his phase boots. They're going to leave this haste rune for S4. This could be a big one, Ben. They've not been off to the best start. Now they're down 1,500 gold. A little bit less experience, but with this, S4 may be able to find Zai and at least prevent him from farming these neutrals. He does pin it out, but who's going to back him up for this? Well, that's some stolen neutrals. That's a very sad Zai. Didn't even use the haste, just walked up.
Yeah, not that big of a deal for him. He does get the experience. Sand King getting that smoke good to see. That's early. I wonder who they're going to make a move on.
And who's he going to go with? There's
maybe Anti-Mage? I think they can smoke around, stun him during nighttime, and then with Lasso, maybe they can kill him. That's ambitious.
Yeah, he's got the Rain of Health. No plus HP items yet, though. He's fairly squishy. But already that value point in Spell Shield. Maybe he just holds this for now, waits for a better opening.
They can't kill mid. Brewmaster has haste, has his ulti, and also, oh man, Zai.
Mimio on the jungle though. It's S4 with the haste for jumping onto PPD. He's found that support silencer. And, oh, maybe can't bring him down here. It looks like the disarm proc still chases though. And while that was happening, they lost Big Daddy, so it's a 1-for-1. The Zai smoke works out. But Secret at least able to get on the board here a bit. Lasso is no mana. No, never mind. No Lasso ready.
No silence either on them. Brewmaster's too tanky to take down. I mean, Fear's farm is ridiculous, using Rage on towers to get even more damage on it. And has Fly resorted to stacking Ancients? Yes, he has.
Early on, EG continue to push that lead a bit further, but it's just not out of reach by any means. Around the 2k gold lead, 2k experience lead. 8 minutes in. The big timing for them will be getting their global and PPD, which is still a little slow, as well as getting the Blink daggers on the 2 initiators. Zai at a 1,500 gold, And then your Bat Rider for Universe, a little bit lower. Arteezy going in on S4. He splits at the last possible second. The Ghost returning a little while from now. I don't know if they can actually get this kill. They're going to try for it, though. They leave a stomp at the ready. The drop down comes, but Zai, although he's there to counter initiate, he's too late. Really nice chain stun from Secret. And Zai just keeps on walking in. He'll kill up the Brew as the split ends. He probably pays with his life here. He does. Now the last one from Universe, pulling Big Daddy into the tower, which is focusing him. And with the stacks up the sticky napalm, he's going to chase back the other way. They're still not involving anyone else from EG. Firefly laid over the top. One more auto tag would do Big Daddy in, and there you go. So in the end, 2-for-2 exchange.
Universe continuing to make big plays on this Bat Rider, and this is prior to Blink. Imagine once he gets his Blink Dagger. My goodness.
They just did not zone him out early, and since then he's been out of control. And it just goes back to their lane. Just very weak against the Bat.
Yeah, super weak. With the Kato, it's slightly predictable how they're going to play unless they have a support that can play aggressively, such as Shaker or even something like Sand King, which EG is currently in possession of. And Zai, speaking of Sand King, very close to his Blink Dagger too. So him plus Bat Riders will come out just a couple of minutes on the same time. Secret will have theirs on S4. So 3 Blink Daggers hitting the deck, and the only loner who won't have it is Tide.
Big Daddy did get good levels, though. I think he was involved when Puppy was clearing some of those stacks. He hits level 6, and still you're waiting for your PPD Global. He's only just now clipped 5. Same as the enemy offlane Tide, so we do see at least one hero struggling for each team. Though more so the concern will be this Tide Hunter. Haste Room bottom, it's bottled up by Universe. He's just too fast to the draw again. I mean, some of it's just fortunate timing, but getting the haste rune, being in the right place to rotate, keeping this pressure up constantly on Kuroki, who's a solid, what is that, 18 CS down now on Fear's Lifestealer?
I mean, 18 CS doesn't sound like that much, but with the Midas, it's 1,400 gold difference.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Lifestealer can hit very, very soon. With those Blink Daggers coming up, Anti-Mage still needs like another 10-15 minutes.
They could begin preying on Kuroki, and the only solution to that will be very good anticipation from Secret. Being ready with the teleport, or maybe TP scrolls are even too slow. Being ready with a Ravage behind him, perhaps the Brewmaster split to counter initiate, but they don't have a good defensive support. You can't really count on Elder Titan. He takes a while to get that stomp off. And certainly Keeper of the Light won't offer much.
They certainly won't, and on the flip side, EG has a lot of burst. So even if they are sitting there, they can't stop the Lifestealer if he rages immediately after an infest, and
they have the global, so even if they're in the right spot, you can just global and potentially kill them anyway.
Things are looking really bad for Secret as it shapes up. 3,500 gold lead for them, about to be about 5,000 after this tower.
Fear will miss the last hit. Still, his armlet is nearly done, and that's probably going to be the go time. Around then, PPD will hit level 6. Zai has level 7. He's only got the 2 burrow. So he probably needs to farm a bit more before he's fully combat worthy, but his jungle's just constantly stacked up here. Currently with golems, not ideal. Arteezy's going to try to steal them, but Zai, he'll trot back towards the mid lane. They want to make a smoke play, and they've got that haster in that Universe snagged earlier, along with the double blink. They head towards bottom. Global won't be up for this. And on the flip side, like, Fear is just not afraid at all. If they try to go on him with Ravage, he just rages. Same if the Brewmaster splits, and there they go. Onto the bottom lane, epicenter onto Kuroki. They will look for the silence. He's not able to blink out. EG just systematically dissecting Secret early on. Now the armlet claim, this is before the Lifestealer gets active for these ganks. Now the Global's online. They even TP'd in PPD just to give him that experience. Just everything going their way right now.
And they're just playing very cleanly, and I wouldn't say it's completely unpredictable, but it's not like Anti-Mage can live in constant fear of it. He can't farm the jungle that efficiently either without items, and S4 searching for a good place to use his brew ult, but there's nobody in the bottom lane. He used it once already and got picked off by Zai afterwards, so, I mean, just things are going terribly for Secret.
And Kuroki just canceled his TP bottom. A bit of a misclick there, so now he's got to walk out lane. It's not the biggest deal, but it's just one more thing slowing him down. And it's not like, you know, Ben, something that you were touching on the draft, and I think given how the game's developed, we want to expand on a little bit is, it's not really like Kuroki is safe to split push freely. Like, you look at the game against Tinker, there wasn't too much lockdown to kill him. This game, there's so much. Global, Lasso, Lifestealer bombs, the Burrow Strike. It's so dangerous to be split pushing.
And even Epicenter is going to do a lot of damage too when he's not high enough level to max spell shield.
Blink out. I'm not sure if S4 noticed this, but they blink in after him. Almost catching him out. They were on the smoke, but it wears off now. Do they still chase? I'm not sure. Oh, S4 is just kind of hiding near the tower. He could get caught out. Zai ready to commit. It's Universe once more over the top on S4. They global to try to secure their retreat. Another clean pickoff for EG. No trades at all except a little farm for Kuroki.
They don't even need RTZ for any of these things. He's just free to farm wherever he wants, use Exorcism on nothing or towers if he so pleases. And
they're not done. They're going to find Big Daddy now, too. Burrow strikes. Zai's going to trap in the Big Daddy. He ain't so big anymore as far as EG is concerned. They maul him into submission. That's a tier 1 down mid. Kuroki still unable to force a tower, and Arteezy arrives with his Ghost. He'll deter the push there. It's all EG all the way. 7-3, but it's a lot worse than that. Down 7,500 gold. No clear comeback unless EG overextend into their team fight combo.
And this Lifestealer pick has just done wonders for EG. PPD pulling that one out of the bag is just fantastic. They have no solution for it. Maybe Tidehunter can like anchor smash him, but in terms of actually killing him and preventing him from killing anyone, I don't think so.
They're going to need like a Basher on the anti-mage with a Butterfly later on to have a shot. But that's looking so far down the road. And at the rate we're going, Fear might have an Abyssal before there's even the makings of a Basher. He will now pick up his Belt of Giant Strength. Very interested to see what direction he goes with this. Could be that Sanjin Yasha to just keep on pushing the advantage. Could be a Basher rush. He's got options here.
15-minute Force Staff and Blink Dagger from Universe. 4 kills on him. Oh, S4 gets recalled to the mid lane. They're smoked up, looking to make a play.
It's, let's see, how obvious is this one going to be? EG sitting on pretty good wards, one near the mid, one near top, and they might get Zai caught out here. He's got his Blink ready to go. They're wrapping around him. He shows himself with Sandstorm mid lane. The Sand King already has his Blink, though. It's not the biggest kill, but, well, they'll take what they can get. As Illuminate comes through, he burrows out. Zai will be run down. A nice pushback from Puppey there. Great use of Blinding Light. Secures the kill. That will give Simba his Blink Dagger. But it's a Sand King already got his Blink. Yeah, and now Puppey's in trouble bottom lane. Fear just walks onto him and munches him.
Easy kill.
Maybe it's a bait. They do gush him. He's got an Infest, but he doesn't. No, he's not going to be able to use it. Boulder Toss will hold him in place. The Global was too late from PPD. Far too late, actually. Yeah, it was like a full second and a half late.
It was a nice try. He also could have infested a little bit earlier, but he didn't anticipate that rotation coming out from Secret. So they do have some fight left in them, but at the same time, he picks up his Basher.
16-minute, 9.4k net worth, 124 CS, only 2-1-1, but looking to get a lot more involved. Kuroki is slowly working towards that Battle Fury, but this is all Epicenter top lane. We're going to have a little go. Zai on S4 with no split to get him out. They counter-initiate with Ravage. Zai has not enough backup, perhaps. Universe will come in and secure the kill, but they may lose more. EG underestimating Secret. Had too many heroes at the point of attack. That ends up being a 1-for-3 over the past 2 engagements. While Arteezy uses Exorcism mid, but that tier 1's already down and can't really push for more.
And Arteezy already has his core items, his drums and yules, and now Brewmaster actually has to be very scared. If he gets initiated upon with the Yule Scepter, he's probably gonna die, and they can just global to counter the Ravage coming out from the from Fly. And I don't know, even though these past couple fights have been pretty scrappy from EG, it's only because they're caught out of position or mismanaged their spells. It's not because they've actually fought in a 5-on-5 and lost due to lack of experience or lack of items.
Yeah, scrappy for Secret, but yeah, EG are strategically, it's It's still a matter of an anti-mage who doesn't even have... Well, Joel just got his Battle Fury, but still doesn't have his Manta. Still will be vulnerable for a long time to the Global. Even at that point, there will probably be an Abyssal Blade on Fear if he goes straight forward. Or even with the Basher, you might get the one Bash with the Rage during the lasso, and then you get the kill. And it's before Arteezy's really joined the fights. He's not the most farm hero, but he is quietly getting there. And he will offer them a lot of late game, and they jump in mid lane now. They gush Zai again. Burrow strikes there. Kuro at the same time. They're working on Kuroki. Lasso will finish him off. They're still chasing Zai. They got their stop off. They lose the anti-mage Tom. They can't tackle the Scorpion mid. That's costly, and Zai goes back in. Arteezy's there with the Sans a little bit late. Zai got a little overzealous. And no back. There was no exorcism there. That was pretty aggressive considering they didn't have... Well, actually they did have global, but no lasso. No lifestealer in the neighborhood. Still, they kill the anti-mage again, though.
Yeah, that's big. He just dies in a lasso with how farm lifestealer is, and him going for straight damage like this instead of any sort of survivability, no drums, no Sange, let's say, and he just does way too much damage relative to anti-mage. Anti-mage, only 8 armor on him.
He's just rumbling around towards the mid lane. Maybe he'll farm... Oh, he wants to go in. Beer thinking about it. Arteezy thinking about it. But nobody going.
This Force Staff will actually be one of the only things that will help them from a Infest gank with the Sand King. Not terribly useful versus the Bat Rider Infest, but useful nonetheless, and that is compounded by the fact that EG does have Global Silence. So they need BKBs, they need Manta Style on Anti-Mage, they need items that can deal with that. And they haven't been the most properly typed from Silencer, but if it does come, I don't know, Secret can get wiped in a teamfight if they don't pop very preemptively like S4 did on his Brew earlier.
We may have a big clash brewing. Secret are smoked up, but no, they're not going to Roche. Never mind. No clash at all, just split push attempted. Kuroki will blink in. Tier 1 is 1 hit from death, and there's no glyph. So the glyph will not be refreshed. EG go back to defend their Tier 1 mid. That's also low to dropping, or close to dropping. It's quite low. So perhaps something that Kuroki will claim, and that may get his farm back in this game. Still feeling difficult to deal with the lifestealer problem, and still global will be the trump card. The BKBs are not even being built. S4 is going towards the Vlads, it looks like. The Tidehunter, of course, does have Kraken Shell, but Big Daddy, and that pretty much leaves everyone else out. They're not going to have any BKBs for a while.
Simba stacking up the Ancients. I think at this point they just give it to Kuro, and it's important that he does have his Force Step, but he needs to catch up at this Lifestealer at some point. He's like a basher up on him right now, and on top of that he has the Midas, so his farm is not going to be slowing down anytime soon. Gold discrepancy in between those two at around 3,000 gold. And he really needs a Manta Style, so the silence doesn't bone him. It's easier for him to dodge Universe's lasso, and just helps him farm faster in general, and split push.
As for EG, they have a nice lead, Ben. Where do they go from here?
I think just capitalizing on the ganks from Lifestealer plus whomever they want to pair it with, Sand King or Bat Rider. And I think mostly they need to be able to use the globals to better effect. Like on the left side, it would have helped him TP out if he had just used it a tad bit earlier.
Yeah, he was like, I guess a second or second half late. But it was kind of an unexpected counter engagement. And he'll be looking more towards the fights now as they smoke and run right into Kuroki. He just used his blink, and they go in with Zai. Burrow strike to start, Silence #1 to follow. They use the global too. The lasso's going to follow this up, and Kuroki is
you see that
wrangled and brought down again.
Range on that lasso?
That was... It's got like a vacuum effect to it sometimes.
What the heck? He like force-stabbed him away, and then he pulled him after the force-stab. That was like a 700 range.
I think it might have latched like as the force staff happened, maybe. I don't know. Lasso's a weird. Sometimes I feel like it has a vacuum attached to it. Kind of similar to Cogs, where it just seems to pull you in. Well, that's unfortunate. They lose Kuroki again. Compare this to the game versus Tinker once more. Did he die that game? It was like maybe once or twice.
He died 3 times.
Yeah, and that was with like 14 kills by the end of it. He's 1-3. And he's not taking towers. Still, the tier 1's up mid lane. The tower's up bottom. It just goes to show how much pressure they exert on the map. He just can't safely split push.
One hero that's also felt very ineffective has been Puppy's Keeper Light. He can't really zone out a Batrider. He definitely can better than an Elder Titan though, and they chose to use him to stack and farm experience in the woods as opposed to an Elder Titan, and I actually think that hurt them a lot.
Arteezy will use Exorcism bottom lane. And Secret, in the meantime, grouping up elsewhere on the map towards mid. There's a glyph ready for EG. Might as well pop this as creeps are approaching. But Secret aren't actually going there yet. They Exorcism the tier 2 bottom. Looks like they're going to take it uncontested. Kuroki off farming with Simba close behind him. He has completed his Yasha, working towards the Manta. Tower mid still stands. It's in deny range, and they've got a glyph. I imagine they're going to pop it. Yeah, there's a glyph. While at the same time, Zai comes in. He's got a Burrow Strike. It best bomb, and Kuroki, even with the 4th death going down again. A 4th death for him. And now they're chasing in.
Without Rage, without Abyssal, too, on Lifestealer. So they have tons of overkill for him.
And they're going to find more here. Puppey gets lassoed at the same time as 4. Barely able to TP out. Puppey will be dead for sure. And actually, it seems like the bleeding may end there for this engagement. No, maybe not. Big Daddy being pursued out. Zai with a Burrow Strike already ready. He heads to the left. Big Daddy heads straight south. But with an open wounds Abyssal, yeah, that's a dead Big Daddy. Doesn't even use the active. He just right-clicks him.
Someone's having technical difficulties. Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up. Radiant's mid tower could use a hand. Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Barrel of laughs!
Radiant's top tower's taking hits. Looks like we lost one. Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Tis mine. Don't put me in a box. Go now boldly into the light.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower. Dire's top tower, you know the drill. Radiant's mid tower's getting the what for.
Primal split! How long I've waited. I'll take your tribute.
Dire's top tower's getting beat down. The Dire went and fortified their structures. The Dire took down old Roche. The Dire might want to mine their top tower. Going from low. Radiant structures must have been fortified.
Use the might under the influence.
Dire's mid tower's coming apart. Dire's top tower's getting beat down. Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up. That's 4.
Invisibility.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help. Dire's mid tower's nothing now. Dire's mid tower won't last much longer. Them Dire buildings are tough as nails for now. Disown their mid tower.
Go, my sweet sisters, go!
Radiant's gone and fortified their structures.
I feel renewed.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
'Tis mine. Double down on sorcery. Never hear the end of this. Even in death, I am alive.
Radiant's top tower is hurt. Radiant's top tower is taking hits. Radiant's top tower is bad. The Radiant lost the top tower. Roche is tough, but the Dire's tougher still.
I'll take your tribute.
Начинает вам вот эти вот ваши кривые...
He's still ahead for now of Kuroki's anti-mage, but Kuroki's gearing up more for like a hardcore late game anti-mage. Heart's on the way. So close, man. It all hangs on a knife's edge now. This is only game one, too. This will be a full best of three, and the loser will have a shot at redemption through the lower bracket finals tomorrow.
Well, let's see the smoking coming out from EG. Headed out. No tower in the mid lane. Kuro actually on the edge of the precipice in the mid lane.
Oh, Kuroki, close to being spotted out. They Firefly and they go in. BKB, what's available from University, is going to force that back out, though. So they miss on their opening there. These illusions will.
Nice awareness by Kuro there.
Yeah. Secret in general were very keen to the fact that EG were likely on the smoke. They were sticking together as 5 in the top lane. This seems to be like the safest area of the map for them.
They love that area.
They keep on running. Like whenever they see a smoke, they run up there instead of hiding in their base. Because they want to get out on the map, but they do not want to get caught by the EG jungle invasion. So I guess it's the best place for that.
Well, and the top T 3 towers that like 2/3 allows Kuro put a somewhat of a timeline on EG. And at the same time, 2 minutes until the Aegis expires, doubt EG will be able to make good use of it yet. Unable to keep all their lanes pushed in to make a concerted effort. And even if they do, they have to deal with the Ancestor Spirit and Keeper Light blast like we saw earlier. And Lifestealer or no Lifestealer can't get up the hill.
The power of the Keeper of the Light. It's really given Kuroki a nice extra boost of mobility. Hasn't done too much in the fights, but at least for just keeping the lanes out while the anti-mage pushes in the others, he's been effective for that.
BKB up on...
Four for EG, 2 for Team Secret. You're up against double Ravage, I suppose the BKBs become slightly more important.
Definitely so. Silencer has to sit way far in the back. He's been dying a couple of times immediately, sometimes for good reason, like popping the smoke, but
he's one of their 4-staff carriers, so it's tough. Like, sometimes you can just look at Silencer and say, just stay in the fountain, right? If you're going to have a big team fight, because he doesn't really do anything else, but...
Yeah.
With that 4-staff, they kind of want him in the neighborhood. Will EG force this, Ben? Do you think they just try to high ground it right now? There's 1 minute on the Aegis.
The Raxes are right now.
Glyph is up, and where in a game where there was once very few buybacks, there's now a lot. 3 for the Dire, plus the Aegis Cheese. If they want to go, they have less than a minute.
Something about their bottom tower.
It's all on these big initiators. The Bat Rider, the Dan King, the Brewmaster, and the Tidehunter. All of them have potential to make huge plays. Tidehunter with a big double Ravage could just fight in. Decide if they can stop any of those Ravages or perhaps stop Elder Titan from...
Fear's gonna walk up and start hitting buildings. He's got a Rage and a BKB. He'll Rage first. That Glyph gets forced out. Does he continue in with the BKB follow-up? Or does he just sit back and... I guess he's got the Aegis for now. There's a hard picked up on the anti-mates. They're in combat mode. Ravage #1 comes through. BKB was out from Fear. He's able to dodge that and continue fighting. Arteezy healthy for now. Turning onto the Brewmaster. They found Kurogi. Kurogi just bought his heart, but he does still have buyback. He's low. He's low. He still lives through it. Manages to retreat out. They can't finish him. They finally got a friggin' range Rax, but that's it. And now their Aegis is down. It was a Brew split used, though, as well as 1 Ravage. So
the global again came out a little bit too late. He used it right after he blinked. Had they used it half a second before. That would not have been game. Anti-Mage actually did have enough for buyback, but crippling damage to them.
Yeah, could have put them in a very commanding position. Instead, Kurogi clings to that slight lead in net worth, albeit with the rest of his team trailing by quite a margin.
Has Silencer made a difference in like 1 or 2 of these fights with global?
Getting caught out at the Roche pit, I feel like was the biggest difference.
Specifically with global, though.
Oh, with global.
Yeah. I
don't think so.
If PPD is going to look back at this game and be like, man, I should have picked a different hero other than Silencer that could have made a bigger impact with.
It feels like he could make a big impact.
He could make a big impact, but it's not his
Maybe it's just not his hero, you know?
His timing's been off a few times already, which has led to not bad results, but it prevents a really good result from happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Still, they at least managed to claim a range Rax. It's just a dent for now, but it's better than nothing. At the same time, Fear is pretty far out bottom lane. They're looking for that Ravage initiation. Will he get it? Rage is there. He dodges. He turns. Uh-oh. Watch out if you fly. The slicing and dicing is beginning. Now they go in. They're using a Brew split as well. There's a BKB available for Fear. Epicenter comes through the rear from Zai. He did whatever he could. Fear still standing strong. They'll have another Rage relatively soon. The Stomp Bolt Connect gets 4-stepped out. Another Burrow from Zai. They may end up losing Fear here in the end. They will. 400 bounty, but more importantly, the death. And now Kurogi sees some blood in the water. He blinks on top of your Silencer, but there's a global ready, as well as a Shiva's Guard. That global will now be popped. That's a good timing for it. These ghosts need to cooperate and start working on him. He mantas out. Don't tell me he's going to live again. You got to be kidding me with this Kurogi play. Then they recall it back out. He blinks up the hill. He's going to survive again.
And that was a buyback on Lifestealer, too. I mean, where is Arteezy in these fights? I think he needs BOTs at this point. He's just swimming in pools of gold, but just absolutely making no difference in these fights. He shows up way too late. Fear blew through Rage. He went through Infest for a couple of seconds, and then he BKB. That's like a good 16 seconds for him to react, and they really needed his damage to follow. They just needed a tiny bit more damage on the anti-mage a little earlier in the fight.
He almost got that second Rage off, but just a little bit too much right-click potential, and now Kurogi hones in on his final item.
That was even with like a sick Ravage dodge from Lifestealer too.
Uh-oh. Secret, are they going to find more of these pickoffs? The anchor smash to start. Now Zayas to BKB. He's got a 4-step at the ready. Burrow Strike pulling down in 4. He's got a 4-step. Blink is available. Into the tree line he goes. And I think he caught them totally off guard. The stomp. Big Daddy knew where he was. The rest of the team thought he was over here. Zai puts on his Nikes and pulls out the jukes. Still, I feel like EG just keep on being in these positions where they're so close to getting picked off, and in that case, he did not have buyback either. That would have been a big death.
What is Arteezy going for? Looks like a refresher orb. No Scythe of Visa complemented, unfortunately.
Could be his final item if he wants to replace this Yule Scepter.
Yeah.
Which I guess at this point doesn't bring that much to the table. It's always a good item on Death Prophet.
Maybe he should have gone for Scythe instead.
Yeah.
Just because
you are up against Elder Titan.
Fear's the one that's getting focused. They can easily
That's
put the
true.
Vlads that they want to. He also has the AC aura if he really wants more armor. And at the same time, he has BKB. So if they don't ravage him, he can just BKB if Anti-Mage never decides to initiate on him.
There also has not yet been a situation where, like, if he had a second Exorcism, they could have necessarily done anything. Like, the mid-fight when they were forced back, his Exorcism was still going for a long time. But this does open up the double Hex later on if he goes back for a Scythe of Ice. Batrider will be the first Hex on the board. This gives them a solution, finally, to the Butterfly of Kuroki, which has been effective for a long, long time.
Sand King also has a
Hex, yeah, on the making. Does he have the Mystic Staff yet? No, he's still a ways off. But yeah, with Fear opting to skip MKB, he is going for it now, it looks like, with the Demon Edge. But it's a pretty late one. Removing this evasion could make all the difference, though.
Yeah. I didn't like the AC pickup because I think it's all about killing Anti-Mage before he kills you. And
He's about
before
to
he
kill
even
you.
pops from the silences, actually.
He's 250 gold from his own Abyssal. If EG start getting picked off one at a time, Kuroki's going to run them over. He is now the strongest single hero on the map. Unless he's like tanking Exorcism with nobody to back him up.
Fights have just been so close. Anti-Mage has escaped just a couple of times with just a little bit of HP, and that has just propelled his net worth immensely.
Roche will respawn. It's claimed now by EG. Aegis to go to the Lifestealer. The cheese, let's see, who grabbed it? It's Space. Oh, it's, sorry, it's on Universe, yeah.
If Batrider gets a refresher too, that could make all the difference. Double Hex, double Lasso.
Yeah,
Pretty darn
for
good.
sure.
And also, even Flame Break is really good at this point since they don't have BKBs on majority of the damage dealers from Secret. They can protect.
Man, these teams are exhausting each other right now. 55 minutes in. They did get a good amount of rest as they're the final game of the day. They now may have another clash of titans. Arteezy pushing out the bottom lane. He's got his whole team trooping behind him. At the same time, Kuroki doing the exact same thing top. Who split pushes faster here? We'll see. Kuroki for now just shredding creep waves. Same time, EG will back off of the bottom lane, and they start just taking the quicker path towards mid. Do they actually just go for the mid melee racks instead? Let's see. They're not spotted. Whereas Secret have not been spotted, though. It's pretty obvious where they are, judging by Kuroki's positioning.
Not have a gem on them anymore. Ash, Batriders.
They've got one on Sand King.
Oh, they do. Okay.
I'll take your
Yeah. Inventory's become an issue for Universe. May become an issue for everyone at the rate we're headed.
Too much gold.
Loads of money. 56 minutes in, we still don't have a melee racks down with a Death Prophet and an Anti-Mage who's 6-slotted in the game.
He's playing it more army. I think a Death Prophet is usually her strength is at 60 minutes into the game. If they wanted to play it like this, he'd be better off playing, like, let's say Shadow Fiend or Invoker at this point, someone that scales much better with items and can still kind of take towers in the process. Invoker at least.
I don't think PD will ever pick Arteezy Invoker.
I've seen him play it. It's
Yeah, PPD doesn't like it though. He's a very dictator type of captain, you know?
Yeah, I mean, still, you just haven't seen the EG play the style of Dota with the Death Prophet. Usually it's like, okay, we're going to 5-man.
It's more like Vici gaming or newbie-esque. Not quite as early, but they go for that, once we have a lead, let's end the game type of play.
And this is just a little bit different and just not as effective.
And I wonder if it's frustrating them that they haven't been able to close out Secret. Because at one point this game, it feels like a long time ago, they were at 29 minutes, well maybe more like 30 minutes, with a 12,000 plus gold lead. Full map control. Kuroki had very little at that point. They had their blinks, they had the map control, they picked up the gem, they had picked them off 3 or 4 times, and slowly Secret have just been finding pickoffs. Most of them have come on the back of the insta-blink Ravages, the fly. And that's why they were forced to go for the BKB on Fear. Just so he would have a way to deal with those Ravages.
And the Elder Titan has proved to be actually pretty darn useful after the laning phase and dying to Universe, of course, but like he can just drop the ultimate on top of the Lifestealer, and once he burns his rage, he doesn't really want to tank that because he's going to be prime target after it hits. He's going to load, he's not going to have rage. He's going to have the aura on top of him too. No, this Elder Titan is be more useful than I thought. The Natural Order is just a very difficult spell to gauge in terms of usefulness, and it certainly did help with that one hold where both of the carries were down.
Very true. EG into their own woods. Secret, this time also moving that way, but they back off again. They just want to wait out this Aegis, and
now 6 slots.
It's only 1 minute. Actually, it's less than that on the Aegis.
Anti-Mage, 6 slots with buyback. Lifestealer can sell his armlet in 4 slots, even though he was up on Anti-Mage for the majority of the game. Now Anti-Mage 8,000 more net worth. Here, Death Prophet, 6 slotted, I guess, for the most part, maybe so.
Yeah, Kuroki is definitely going to win a man fight against this Lifestealer right now. He actually, I think he has an MKB on the Courier. Oh, just the Demon Edge. So he's close to an MKB, but even then.
He also needs it for Blinding Light, too.
Yeah. That's true. We mentioned the Drunken Haze, the evasion when he's not raged, and or sorry, the Drunken Haze when he's not raged, as well as the evasion, and the butterfly. But yeah, we didn't mention the Blinding Light. There's a lot of reasons to buy an MKB. Arteezy doesn't care about any of that, of course. That is the one nice thing about Death Prophet.
He is going for Scythe of Ice too. The ultimate orb.
Yeah, he can go 7 slotted here as well. Just leave the refresher in the stash, but ideally you want BOTs with that. Just to make sure you can rejoin these fights.
Secret occupying their favorite spot, the opponent's jungle.
Fear will complete his MKB. We may have a clash soon. Everybody's spending their gold now. Buybacks are dwindling on the side of the Dire. They only have 1. There's 5 on Secret. They actually look like they want to begin a siege as this Aegis will wear off, Ben. They may be taking the fight to EG, confident perhaps now that Kuro's fully 6-slotted. They still have their double Ravage. Everything's ready to go. Okay, never mind. They're going to go back.
Yeah, no Manta Style up. Can't really put... And that tower is just in prime position for Kuro to take advantage of that later.
Yeah, it's basically free gold. It's waiting for him. That's one option Secret have perhaps a bit more than EG is the ability to, if they ever need to, try and just rat this out. Just because this anti-mage is much more difficult to take down than any other hero in the game.
Here we go with a smoking from behind.
Secret are just hugging the tree line. They've got an Observer Ward to cover them. That won't help you when Arteezy rumbles in. And backup is inbound for PPD. He's going to be the one to reveal them. He's got a global. They're not using it. They popped their Shiva's Guard. I'm not sure if they actually got eyeballs on that, but they have a general idea of where Secret are. The smoke broke. PPD will be instantly assassinated. He does not have buyback. That means no global for this fight. But they found Big Daddy on the back line. Not the most important hero. Now the BKB from Fear. Kuroki's going to focus him with an Abyssal. The counter Abyssal comes out. Arteezy into the tree line. Finishes off Big Daddy's. The Earth Splitter ends. Now the Ravage on Fear. That's your Ravage number 1. Look for Ravage number 2 if you must. on the Universe. He lassoed Krogi, but they're still not killing him. They're ignoring this anti-mage who's running rampant in the team fight. Krogi's just trying to decide who his next target is. Now they're going to use him. Arteezy heads to the high ground, and Kuroki leaps in. Mana Void is ready. He's got a Mantle Style too. Does he focus buildings? Let's see. He gets hexed. He's got a secondary exorcism. Will they use it? Shivas, they're just staggering the retreat. Kuroki continues to be at half health through everything. He's not even going to use exorcism. Gets forced staffed away. The Abyssal Blade's down in 9 seconds. Mana Void almost finished off Universe. Kuroki though gets hexed. Then they turn on him. They silence him. They might finally bring this damn anti-mage down. Still silenced. So freaking tanky. They got him. They get 4 in the end. I can't believe they won that fight.
Wow. These hexes on the supports though, and on the Batrider, is really paying off that EG is able to maximize farm on all their heroes. It's just so important that they have those, and they had to just blow everything. So many cooldowns of chain and off at the end, and that extra exorcism at the end from the refresher really did them in, and now they have another 2 hexes.
Another team fight without a global. It's like, you look at these epic late game 5v5 clashes, you think global might be a deciding factor. Apparently not for EG. He's just a walking ward.
And he had a very nice wraparound at the start.
Oh, Universe was hunting, but couldn't get in range. They really can't go in though. They don't have anything right now.
Yeah, they really want to force the anti-mage buyback, but that's not happening. They did force S4s though.
Yeah, and every buyback is important at this point. Just having that +1 advantage makes all the difference, even if it's not the most essential hero.
Elder Titan picking up a Lincoln Spear, probably dumping it onto anti-mage. Blocks a lot of important spells, but at the same time, oh, I thought they could use it, but it's not on anymore. They can use one of their Force Stabs. It will block Abyssal though, so Fear has to be a little bit careful about using that on him.
Yeah, between that and the Manta style, he's got some elusive properties. Do we wait for another Roche? What is this? Roche number 5?
Not sure.
I think this is at least our 3rd cheese coming out. Maybe the 4th. I think it's the 5th Roche. It's up in 38 seconds. They did not force the anti-mage buyback though. Kuroki has 7k gold. He could buy his BOTs. I don't really know what you'd go for at this point as an anti-mage.
Some people like to sell Battle Fury, but it's actually that great at this point. Unless you really need something else. But most of the time,
they got another Lincoln. They're just gonna throw like triple Lincolns in theory with the refresher on him. Oh, they found Universe, and they're also gonna find a lifesteal in the river. This could be huge. As he pops out, Kuroki turns. He already used this Abyssal. They deploy an exorcism on the high ground. Fly waits for his opening, and in comes Secret right now. Global finally used at a decent time. Will force Secret back, and they turn onto Kuroki. Remember, he still has the buyback though. Didn't have to use it in the last fight. The epicenter comes through. Zai comes skating in, but the Ravage is there. Ravage 1 is pretty good, blocking down the back lines. Arteezy now has to fight against the entirety of Secret. He's on the retreat out. Up to the high ground will go. Slowed down. 1 bash will be his downfall. Mind Void will be his downfall. Forget about the bashes. Now onto Fear. Kuro. Nope. Bash against Kuro. Now against Fear. He goes down. The triple for Kuro. 4 heroes dead. Buyback status. Only a Death Prophet. They've got no exorcisms. That might well be GG. They're actually chasing PPD right now. Not sure that's essential. I mean, he's an irrelevant hero.
Yeah, that is game. They can just go for throne at this point, and
they just want to rub it in at this point. Where did it go wrong for EG? They had such a great early lead.
The Force Staffs, again, Secret just did a much better job about protecting their anti-mage than EG did about protecting their life stealers. They need like multiple Force Staffs on them. They need precise global timings, and none of that really came through for EG. They seemed a little bit selfish with their Force Staffs.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
They're going to get the Aegis and Cheese now. They're actually short on inventory slots. I don't think they realize how few buybacks are up on EG. Or they'd just be going for it, but they're going to take Aegis, Cheese, and a lane of Rex. It's a completed Mjolnir that Kuroki will send out just so he can throw the buff on a teammate, I imagine. Maybe he replaces the Battle Fury with this. I doubt it, though. And now they'll cave in the mid lane. They'll start bashing on the walls of the top. The shield of this EG base is quickly being overrun. 2 lanes of Rex down for Secret. It's only game 1. But what a comeback. This team just doesn't lose late game, it seems, even to EG, a team who normally is also known for great late game decision making. Again, they fall behind early, and again, they come back into it late. And they're looking at mega creeps now. Kuroki will finish off this third lane of Rex. The brew split was used just to zone while they focus buildings. He's sitting on the Mjolnir. He's just a walking demolition crew. He's dropped his boots entirely. He doesn't care about mobility now. It's only about damage output. As Universe leaps in, they hex Kuroki, but then they don't have much follow for this. Instead, they're turning on Puppey, who's also kept alive. Mass 4-staff retreat. Carefully crafted by Secret. And this is without S4, who's just chilling in the Dire base. He's basically just using their futon for free. Fear still hunting, desperate to get in range for someone. They did burrow straight Kuroki. They cornered him. Remember, even if he dies here, he has buyback anyway. But he just turns around and starts walking at Universe without boots. Blake in, Abyssal Blade, and that's another kill. Again, they lose one. The Ravage connects on 2. The Anti-Mage is not going for this, though. Kuroki is slowly but surely throning it. Tier 4's to fall. One down, second next. PP will go Scepter. Monovoid, GG! EG can't convert on a massive early game advantage, and the Kuroki Anti-Mage again comes through in the end. He ends this game as a Godzilla AM. 42k net worth. Who needs boots when you've got 6 damage items?
Wow. I'm still ever surprised by Secret's mid to late game teamwork. Kuro's escapes, the mass 4 staffs to keep